Airbnb just reported their Q2 earnings and they met the revenue target and they surprised with a very good earnings per share estimate beat. They posted about $2.1 billion of revenue, which represents about 58% revenue growth year on year. With respect to earnings, they have surprised everybody by posting about $379 million of net income, which is almost 18% net profit margin. It is no surprise that Airbnb beat these expectations because there's a lot of pent-up demand for travel during this summer. But we also need to understand that they have good competition from the likes of VRBO. Let's look at their evaluation in 2026 to see if this is an investable stock. In the most recent quarter, they grew their revenue by about 58%, but when we are doing an estimation for the next 5 years, we cannot assume that the growth will be that high. So I'm going to assume about 35% average growth in the next 5 years, which I think is optimistic. They would make about $27 billion of revenue. With respect to net profit margin, I have seen that this company is having gross margins in the range of 75%, but the operating expenses are consistently high and they are posting about 15% net profit margins in the previous years. And this quarter they posted about 18% net profit margin, right? So, but just to be conservative, I will still assume a 15% net profit margin because remember, they also have a ton of competition, right? They cannot put the prices too high. So with a 15% net profit margin, they'll make about $4 billion of net income in 2026. For a company that is going in the 35% range and has a net profit margin of 15%, I can assume a multiple of 20 to 25, but I'm going to assume an average of 22.5. This company would be worth about $90 billion in 2026. Currently, they have about 636 million outstanding shares. They just announced a buyback of about $2 billion worth of shares, but I think that's going to get offset by their stock-based compensation. So I'll still assume a 3% stock dilution per year until 2026, which will make the number of shares to be about 738 million. When I divide this 90 billion market cap with the outstanding shares, the price would be about $123. But wait, the stock is about $115 today, right? So that's about $8 gain in about 5 years. Or less than 10% gain in about 5 years, right? So I'm in no hurry to get into this stock. I'll think about it if they fall below $55 or so. So I can at least think about a 2x.